So you're all welcome. Please unmute yourself. Mrs. Joanne, you're welcome. Please give me your phone. Yes, I need to check something. Okay, so we'll start now. I'll leave it to Mrs. Patricia,
Okay.
For you to take over.
Okay. So good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to this live webinar on dance education in Nigeria and parents' role. Okay, on this live webinar, we'll be discussing dance as a whole and much more important, parents' contribution to dance education, to this very heart we are talking about in Nigeria. So my name once again is Patricia Patrick, the Creative Director at Patya Expression Academy Lagos. I welcome our amazing parents, if we have any yet in the house, and our dance patriots on this live webinar. So I'll leave the rest to Ruben to officially and formally welcome our guest speaker for today, Miss Leora, Amit. Yeah, I hope I got that name correctly. My apologies if I didn't. Okay, Ruben, it's you.
Okay, just a
Ruben,
second.
are you there?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
it's fine.
So I formally introduce you. First of all, because I think we have some parents who are not quite familiar with me here. My name is Ruben. I am the Artistic Director of Goodness Ballet Dance Academy Abuja. So it's a pleasure to be on board this evening. So I formally introduce to you Leora Amit from Canada. Leora is, to me, that I know, she's smiling. It's not just an international ballet professional, but also a ballet historian. Leora has been a huge supportive system. She has been supportive in the Nigerian ballet industry, ensuring the perfection and growth of ballet in Nigeria. She has a huge interest in doing research about the Nigerian culture and to see how this helps and promote and preserve the art of ballet. So once again, Leora Amit, you're welcome. And we're giving you the floor now to take over as the guest speaker for the day.
Thank you both very, very much for having me. Yes, I have a growing and maturing interest in ballet in Nigeria, and I'm very happy to be able to share what I know and what I can share with all of you. I've been involved in ballet from a very, very young age and always looking to see how can I still stay connected to ballet. So even if my legs don't go so high anymore, my heart is not, it doesn't have any problem. And I'm always looking to see how ballet can continue to be part of my life. The topic that the two of you have brought for today's chat is a very broad one, very interesting. And I hope that whoever will be joining us, either already online or joining as we continue, or maybe watching the recording at a later date, I hope that everybody is able to get something out of it. I have also prepared a handout with some links for parents or anybody else who would like to think, get their brains kind of working on angles, different ways of looking at ballet. So there are different links to websites to either read or watch things, and those can address the topic of the role of parents in dance and how dance can be a part of your child's life. I'm hearing myself twice, so I wonder whether it is possible now to mute.
Yes, I think you should mute everyone so that it can be clearer.
Thank you. So I'd like to start out just to make sure that we all are talking about the same thing. We have different backgrounds and different experiences in ballet. So I'm going to start out by showing a little ballet clip. For some, it's, oh yeah, we know that. For others, maybe it's a revelation. But to get us into the mood, so to speak, of what it is that we're talking about. What is it that what is the model that we see in front of us when we engage with ballet, and where do we see ourselves fitting inside vis-a-vis in comparison to that model? So let me go to the share screen. And here we are. Okay. So the first little part, so I hope that you can still hear me while we watch.
Yes.
This is an excerpt, a little part taken out of the ballet Swan Lake. Very famous ballet. This is from the second act. It's even this little scene, this sequence is known as the entrance of the swans. And it is known all over the world, even though the ballet itself was created at the end of the 19th century. It continues to be performed in ballet companies all over the world and is very famous and engaging and part of the culture of ballet. So whether or not you will end up being on stage dancing it or not, you will, throughout your years of training and dancing, you will have become familiar with this ballet. And I bring it as an example for many reasons. I'll pause it in a minute, in a second or so. Now, this is a dance scene, net, abstract dance. It's ballet, they are swans. We know this from the program notes, and it's part of the story that takes place over several acts in about 2 hours time. And this is the prince who has fallen in love with a princess who is under a spell and is trapped in the body of a swan, and only true love can rescue her, etc., etc. And this is the part where I will very painfully attempt to pause this. Here it is. I've managed to pause it. And I'll see your faces again. Thank you. So I bring this as an example for several reasons to start the discussion. So wherever you are in the world, at whatever age, when you are enrolled in a ballet class, in a studio, a school, a studio, a community center, wherever it is, and you're learning this thing called ballet, this is what the conversation is about. And the students are going to be taught the language of ballet, literally the names of the terminology, the movements of ballet, but also the aesthetic and all of those ideas that come with ballet. And I say ideas because ballet developed over several hundred years in a particular place on the globe in Europe, and it is infused with the ideas and ethics and morals of the society that it developed in. So whether we want it or not, for example, when we are studying ballet all the way on the other side of the world, several hundred years later, we will be taught a lot of ideas that come from the origins of ballet. So for example, wanting to stand tall, and that standing tall is interpreted as being proud and being confident. Maybe not all cultures and not all societies around the world have that ingrained into their customs. But when you're learning ballet, you're also learning about the customs and the morals and the ethics and the ideas of a different culture. You're also learning how to move your body in a very, very particular way, which is based on human capacity. We have dancers, they are human beings, 2 arms, 2 legs, of a lot of other things, and they're in the middle and everything else. As human beings, we're all the same. But the abilities and the capacities that are required of ballet dancers in the ideal form are much more than what we do in everyday life, which means that ballet students all over the world are going to be asked to do things with their legs and their backs and their arms and everything else that is not exactly like what we do in everyday life. In everyday life, for example, maybe I will lift my leg to get up on a very high step or to get up on a chair. But nobody's really looking at me how difficult this is and how much help I need. And am I falling over the first time and I'll get it the second time? There are certain standards that are expected of us on stage in a ballet performance, which are different from the standards of everyday life. And I can go on and on because ballet is my thing, and I have a t-shirt saying ballet, let's talk about it. But I'll try and focus and bring it into the role of parents. So for one thing, when we enroll our children to do ballet, they will be expected to do things that ordinary human beings in day-to-day life may not be expected to do. And because we don't do them in everyday life, they may require additional practice than the things that we do in everyday life. Like we've been practicing to walk on 2 legs since the age of 1. As years go by, we get better at it until no brainer. But then when we walk into the ballet studio, we're asked to do things that we don't practice in everyday life. So that's one point. I'll continue to say that ballet also requires teamwork. So we have these dancers, I'll actually rewind and we'll look at it a little bit more and without the sound so that we can concentrate, hopefully, on what I'm trying to convey. Play. So as individuals and in society, even within our family network or within our class in school or within our neighborhood and the bigger structures in society, we have some roles to play where we are individuals. It's very much about us and what we want and our opportunity to express ourselves. There are other times when we come into contact with society and our community where our role is to be one of many and to take on a role that will help society. It's less about the individual, it's more about the group. So when I look at a dance like this, I see multiple dancers, there are 24 of them, that are all working in unison, working together in order to create shapes, for example. The task that they were given was, please, all of you, do the same thing, do it together, and try to be as identical to each other as possible. I, the spectator, am enjoying the result of their work. In this particular context, we're not looking for individuality. We're not looking for anybody to stand out and be different. There are opportunities in life and in ballet to be very different, to stand out and to be exceptional. There are circumstances that require us to cooperate, to be very minded on what is my exact place in society that I have to fill at the moment. And together with everybody else, we will be able to achieve something which is greater. So all of this I will bring back in, I hope to everybody's satisfaction of the parent's role in all of this. I'll move along to another example. So even when you get to the point of being a soloist, an individual on stage and dancing all on your own, and exhibiting what you can do. And I'll let you watch this little solo segment, and then I'll complete the sentence. So the sentence is, even when you get to that place, where are you guys? There you are. So even when you get to the point where you have such technical ability, technical proficiency, and you're able to use it for expression, we have a phenomenal dancer, Mikhail Baryshnikov. There's no doubt that he has worked very, very hard in order to get to this point in his dancing career. And there's no doubt that he is also using this technique, this ability, for the purpose of expressing. Now, he has a particular role to play within the story, within the ballet, but he's also bringing his personality into it. And what I'm trying to achieve by giving this example is to demonstrate that it'll take a lot of hard work over a long period of time until you are dependable enough to always get it right. And when you're on stage at that level, there's no opportunity for, sorry guys, I didn't have a good day today. You still have to do the steps the way that they were choreographed. You still have to provide or bring your end of the deal. I have been engaged in order to do this, and you have to take responsibility for that. Even when you get to that point in your career on stage, you still have a commitment towards the language of ballet. Just because you're no longer obligated to dance the same as everybody else, and maybe to hold back because my leg has to be the exact same height as all of the other swans. You're not off the hook from performing all of the ballet steps according to the standards of ballet. So whether you are one of many and nobody's necessarily looking at you and only at you, and whether you are the only one on stage, you still have an obligation to something which is greater than you. So in terms of how this would translate to life in general, and I'll bring, I hope to be able to bring this logically to the point where when we send our kids to ballet, they are learning skills and ethics and ideas that go beyond just the ballet. These are ideas and skills and experiences that can be translated to the rest of life. So just because everybody's looking at me doesn't mean I can do whatever I want. I still have a commitment to either the company I'm working for, the curriculum that I'm supposed to teach in school, to giving the best possible service to the customer, et cetera, et cetera. There are so many ways in this that this can apply. But if you still have doubts, and that would be okay, like I said, it's a broader conversation that can be approached in many, many ways. Let's bring it back down to the experience in the studio and the training in ballet. So another example that I brought is from a school that trains students to be professional ballet dancers, which is at the other end, perhaps, of the continuum of the beginner recreational dancer. Even though our ideal is ballet at a professional level, nevertheless, we can all engage with it. And it starts all the way with a young child who's enrolled in the studio and tries to learn ballet and performs what they have achieved for the parents. And all of the stages, even if we never end up on the professional ballet stage, we can enjoy all of those benefits of ballet. So I'll have the school running in the background. It's not, it doesn't have sound. I did that intentionally so that I can be here with you. So some of the ideas. There is no instant success in ballet because the demands are so far removed from what our bodies are used to doing in daily life. Even though we try and we want to do those forte turns, why can't we just get up and do them? Because there are so many steps, not only to learn here, that your body has to learn until you are able to perform those wonderful, beautiful, amazing feats that we see on video, on YouTube, on the internet, and even in performances, if you get to see fun, amazing professional dancers. So there are no shortcuts. It's only hard work, consistent hard work, not skipping classes, not skipping grades and levels unless your teacher says that you are ready and prepared to do it. There's also something a little bit misleading, I think, in our everyday experience of going to school, the regular school, the one that teaches us reading and writing. We are all matched into classes according to our age. It's arbitrary. Everybody who's 6 years old starts out 7-year-old, 8-year-old, etc., and you get promoted to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. Generally speaking, if you are doing enough or beyond the minimum in order to pass your exams, you will be bumped up and promoted to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. In ballet, if you don't achieve more, learn more, or improve, you cannot be brought over to the next level because you can't cheat, you can't lie. Nobody can do it for you. It's you and your body. And if your body, the combination of brain and body, if you're not able to bring your body to the next level of execution that will allow you to do the next thing, you will not be able to do it. There's no way of skipping classes in that regard. Ooh. I'll close the video off and I'll stop sharing because I also need to focus. How do we bring this back to the conversation with parents and your role? Let me just stop sharing, and there we are. I have all of you again. I hope you're bearing with me here. I can go all over the place when you get me started on ballet. So trying to focus again. At the very vulnerable ages of 3, 4, whenever you decide 5, 6 to register your kid for ballet, until the age of 18, when they can go out and earn money for themselves, or maybe slightly sooner, they are dependent on you. They are dependent on your support, not only financially and physically to bring you to the studio, they're also dependent on your approval. And that approval of yours as parents is so crucial to how they will see themselves for the rest of their lives as adults. And there are many decisions to make in life. I cannot even begin to appreciate all of what goes into each and every one of your lives, juggling the work, the obligation, earning a living, the family life, the extended family, the community, the politics. There's so much to worry about. And your children, that every parent all over the world wants the best for them. And then the question is, what will be best for them? And over time, different places around the world at different eras, we have, and different societies, we have different ideas about what are we preparing them for in life. Is all of childhood only a preparation for adulthood? Or is childhood also a very, very important period in and of itself for experiencing different things and for receiving feedback from caring adults in our lives? And we may have a good connection with our math teacher in school, but it's possible that school is not going to be the setting where our children get these positive, fulfilling, enriching assurances and validation from adults. So if you are conflicted about whether or not to register children to extracurricular activities, there's the value of the personal development of somebody is hearing me and listening to me. I expressed my individual desire to learn ballet. My parents, maybe they never learned ballet, or it's not really their thing, and that's okay. But the question is, for example, are you going to be the parent who allows the child to try something out, to experiment, and beyond what they will be able to do with this in their professional money earning stage in life, they will walk away with the experience of, I was given the opportunity to explore who I was, what am I good at, where is my heart? A whole other angle to the discussion is, there are the practical things in life, the things that you learn in school, and school is the one who has been entrusted with preparing us for some of those nitty-gritty, more technical things, I call them, in life. But is there also room in our lives for the things that bring us joy, the things for which we will tolerate all of the things that we don't have a choice for? We don't have a choice. We have to earn money. We have to this, we have to that. But we have that 1 hour a week where we get to do that thing that we love. And it doesn't matter if we are good enough or not good enough, or if this is going to be a career or not. So oh, we just got a notification that Zoom is going to cut us off. Please, please, please use the same link to log back in. I've been timing myself. I was given X amount of minutes. So I also know that I have to wrap things up and give it back to the two hosts. Please, if we get cut off, please log back into the same link. So I'll try to conclude my part of it. There are different angles in which you can approach why we need parents on board. We would love for you to reinforce the message. This is important. We made a commitment. We have to stand behind our commitment. We will bring you there on time with all of your ballet gear and everything else. We will take an interest in what you are doing, because what is important for you, even if we don't love ballet, it's important for us too. The studio owners, love. It makes life so much easier when all of you are on board. You are part of the team. We can't do this without you. We don't want to go against the stream, against what parents are doing. There's so much more that can be done with the ballet experience. It may be the ballet experience of how we nurture our children. It may be giving them ideas that they want to do this professionally and they will pursue it further. There can be so many ways in which ballet translates itself into life. I'm going to say that's where I'll stop. I thank you so much for your ear. There is the handout with the links to reading more about how ballet got me to be an astronaut or an engineer. Yes, there are people who will quote their ballet experience is what led them to pursuing these other careers. So Patricia and Ruben, back to you.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Leora. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Leora. This is so insightful, and in fact, this is so educating. Thank you so much. It was a huge moment. And for those of our parents who, because I note down some of these points you made, very valid points. Some of our parents who are having issues with network problems, we have you covered. So we're having we're recording this session now, and we'll definitely share the session with you after this meeting. Thank you. So I'll leave this to Patricia to do a recap.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Leora. Thank you, Robert. A lot has been said here in a very short while, and it's very educating and very informing, enlightening. Yes. So, just like Laura mentioned, please, before I continue, please, just in case, just a reminder, just in case Zoom actually logs us off, please use the same link to log back in almost immediately so that we can just continue from where we stopped. Okay, so another thing is, please, we'd like as many people as possible to put down their questions. We might not be able to take all actually, but we'll appreciate few questions so that we can actually, I have my question actually, but I appreciate if every other person here can, just like Ruben said, some parent might be having issues to log in, because I have a few parents who actually said they want to join and I sent them the link. So thank you very much, Miss Leora. So like you said ballet actually, you know, it teaches us culture, customs, as well as learning language, which is very, very important because it's like a mixture of culture. Like, for instance, in this part of the world, I like to bring in our parents. Well, so far, so good. Lately, in recent times, I would say, parents are learning to embrace and, this beauty of dance, especially ballet in this part of the world. Though we're still having challenges with parents supporting or encouraging their male kids to embrace ballet. But in terms of their girls, it has been very encouraging. However, we're still having some challenges because some parents still feel like, oh, I have more important things to do. They should just focus on the academics, and that's what's the most important thing. And they don't know the beauty that lies in this. And thank God for some parents who, for some reasons, have been enlightened and got to know the beauty that that dance ballet is not just about dancing. It goes beyond dancing. It has to do with education. It builds confidence. It has a lot of benefits that goes in line with academics as well. So they are learning to embrace this. So but the challenges has lingered on for years and is still on. If I stand to be corrected, it's still on because we've had parents who we have to encourage over time to buy into the idea of supporting their kids. Like you said, Leora, you said it should be like their everyday life, part of them. They should see that something that it's part of them. Like it's just like I have a time schedule to do some things. I should also schedule that time to support my child in dancing. Okay, so at this point, I just want to throw it open. If you have any questions, so we can just take it from here. If you have any questions, please just put them, just signify by raising up your hand, and we'll take it from there. Please, does anybody have a question? Okay. Please, if you have a question, just raise your hand. So I just want to put this question to Miss Leora. Please, how well can parents best support their children? Please, how well can they best support their children? How can they inculcate this lifestyle into their lifestyle?
Well, for one, they can serve as an example. I'm sorry, I just want to make sure you hear me properly. Being a role model is one of the most important things. So as a busy parent, if you are a role model and you show that once a week, I go out for a walk for my health, to be active, to be healthy, and I'm busy, et cetera, but this is important. It's important for me to set time aside to do this for my body, for my health, for my soul, or if there's anything else, so serving as an example. Yes, mother and father and everybody, we have these things that maybe are not the necessities of life, but we make a point of putting time aside. For example, for some people, it may be church. Come hell or high water, on Sunday we go to church. You could easily say, and I don't mean any offense to anyone, you could in fact say that, maybe not, let's skip it. No, this is important, so we do it. I think that the messaging of the things that are important, we always make time for, that's very important. The next level is, of course, you as a parent have to make time out of your schedule to take the child and wait there and bring them back, and make sure that if you have to launder, clean their leotard and tights and everything else, that's ready for them. You could share responsibility with a child that's old enough that they are the ones who maybe wash their leotard in the sink, and they learn a little bit of responsibility for that. Ballet is important to you, and you are part of the success of getting to ballet. There are many ways, and I hope this is helpful. Does this answer address your question?
Yes. Thank you very, very much. Okay, that's now on the part of the parent. So I'd like to bring it. You said something earlier when you were discussing. You said it requires teamwork. So I believe this teamwork has to do with the student, the teacher, as well as the parent. So my question is, how best can a teacher, be able to help a parent understand the values, the benefit, the impact, the importance of dance in a growing child? Yes, please. That's a question.
Sorry, so
Yeah, that's my question.
That was for me, yes?
Yes, please.
Yeah. I can't think of a shortcut or a magic answer. I can only say that look at your child when they are in class, when they perform.
Okay.
Are they behaving in
Okay.
any way differently from what you see them in ordinary life? In ordinary life, do you see them being, for example, very impatient and maybe pushing and shoving in order to be first in line? That's just an example, and playing with other children or something like that. And yet, look at her on stage. On stage,